Hello, and welcome to Grossly Competent, the learning, development, and adulting podcast that does not claim to be pretty, but will happily pretend to be slightly competent. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to say it the whole time like that. I am your host, Steve Counsel. I'm joined by my co-host, the monster the boogeyman warns his children about, Mr. Patrick Aylshire.
Am I under the bed or
maybe
in the closet or
that's up to you, I guess. I can't dictate these things for you, my man. Like,
I might actually be under the bed because I'm afraid if I'm in the closet, I might lock myself. If it's a closed door, like the bathroom. I don't know.
Yes, I get it. They're tricky. Those locking mechanisms are real tricky.
Well, thank you.
What's going on, man? Yeah.
You can tell, Steve, that you were started the group project the night before kind of guy in school.
Okay. Shots fired, dude. No.
What?
No.
What?
Here, I thought we were friends. I didn't realize. Man, I felt this pain in my back all day, and I was like, what is that? But it was actually the universe prepping me for the stab you just did.
Were you an early bird with the homework or projects? Or
never an early bird, but when it came to project work, I was very good about doing that with the team. Very good about it. Sometimes even to a detriment, I would say. So no, I was not I'm going to wait until the last minute kind of guy because I hated those kinds of people. And you know what's funny is when you talk to a lot of folks about that, like, that guy in the group project, everybody says that, like, oh, I can't stand that guy. 10 out of 10 of you were not telling the truth here, champ. Like, one of you's the king of the jungle, and that is a lion. So who is it, right? I've always found that fascinating.
I love it.
Hey, anyway, wow, not that we're on a tangent or anything. It is so lovely to be here back and chatting with all of you fine folks, and you, Mr. Patrick. You're here too, I suppose. That's fine. We have some awesome stuff to get into. I'm really looking forward to today's episode, really, because I'm genuinely curious as to your experience with this, Patrick. And I think we're going to have a really nice back and forth on this because I feel like we come from two similar worlds, but different in maybe the way that we approach things. So I'm curious if we actually align on this one or not.
Sure.
But before we get into that, the listeners demand to know. Who's our sponsor of the week, man? Who is it?
Today's episode is brought to you by Sorry for the Late Reply.
Oh, God.
The modern adult's national anthem. Sorry for the late reply. Maintaining relationships through managed disappointment.
Oh, my God. I don't even want to say anything about this one because
This is a good one for me in my personal life.
Yes.
Whether it's email or texting. Work, I follow the work policy. I'm good with responding at work, being responsible there, but the personal life is a whole other story.
Yeah. I have certainly learned, like, I agree with you. There's times I mess up professionally. Yeah. My big thing professionally is if I screw up and I respond to the message, let's say 1, 2, 3 days late, something like that, I do make it a point to say, like, I'm very sorry for the lateness of my message. There are no excuses. This is entirely my fault. Like, I like to just like put that out there of like, I'm not going to say, oh, it was a busy week. Everybody has a busy week. No, everybody has things going on. So I do like to put that out there of like, I need to own this. This is my fault. I'm sorry. What can I do to make this better? And we talk about that all the time on this, but personally, I was really bad about this, man, for like a really long time, to the point that I had friends that would call me Casper because I would ghost them. I was like, oh no. And it was not malicious. Like, it was not like, I'm not answering. it just would be like, I'd see the message and go, oh yeah, I'll get back to him. And then I wouldn't, because I'd forget. So I have made strides to not do that. So this one really hits close to
I'm
home.
much better with texting versus emails. Sometimes it's just
agree.
I've already checked my emails at work, and I've already got my responding to stuff on social media and text. Now just like email, I'll get to it. I actually sent one today, Steve. This is for my business. I sent one out. A response. I got an email. Today is Thursday. I got an email on Tuesday morning, and I responded. And they responded back to me like an hour later, said, "Thank you so much for replying so quickly." And I laughed to myself because I thought I was responding 48 hours late. But
and I guess that probably is a nice read on like the individuals you're working with too, right? Like,
sure,
if they have a 48-hour turnaround and they think that's quick, like, that's sure. So if you can surpass that, you look even better, man. Like, that's awesome. I think in those circumstances, just having that ability, like, hey, I screwed up, man, I'm sorry, but oh God, I think when you say it's the modern adult national anthem, dude, this is twice now in 6 minutes that I feel like you have just pierced my heart. Brutal, dude. Okay, I gotta change this. Well, I'm sorry. Thank you so much, Big Sorry for the late reply. I can't forget to thank our sponsor.
Of course.
Because then they're not going to cash our check. Yeah. That's it. Well, before we get into our chit chat, the normal chit chat, if you will, I was hoping to pose a little something for our audience. Are you cool with that, Mr. Patrick?
Sounds awesome.
So, Patrick and I, we talk and you listen, which is really great. And we talk about our mishaps and the pains, like, replying to a message late, or obviously anything about the workplace, adulting, whatever. But we've been chatting, and we would actually really like it if we could hear directly from you, fine listeners. We want your questions for us. Like, what have you always wanted to ask Patrick and I, but maybe you haven't? This is a great opportunity for you to interact with us, and we can maybe help you solve a problem or tell you how wildly incompetent we actually are. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, and to do this, we'll need you to reach out to us, and you can do so by following us on Instagram and sending us a message at Grossly Competent. You can also send us an email at our Gmail account, grosslycompetent@gmail.com. We'll pick through those we've received and read our favorites in an upcoming episode. Goodness.
I'm actually looking forward to seeing emails come through on grosslycompetent@gmail that aren't solicitors or somebody telling us how they can optimize our SEO.
What up, Simon? What up, Simon?
Let's get that book. Yep. Yeah, it's all good. So this will be nice. This will be really, I'm looking forward to it. I think this will be a lot of fun. If we can get, handful or more, we can suss through them and figure out what we want to talk about. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Well, it was a combined effort. This is something that you and I have talked about previously in the past. And I feel like this is a great time for us to just kind of pounce on there. It's not like we're running out of ideas or anything. No, it's not true. It's not true. We have a Rolodex of ideas, guys. So strap in. Anyway, I have some self-plugging. I'm not gonna lie. So
I'm intrigued.
As Samuel L. Jackson says in Jurassic Park, hold on to your butts.
Butts. I knew that was coming. Hold on to your butts.
So, folks, my Disrupt HR talk is now officially live on the interwebs, and it is available for your viewing and listening pleasure. I am pumped. I've been waiting for this video so long, and now I get to share it with the world. I don't normally like to toot my own horn on these kinds of things, but I'm really proud of this. And I also recommend that you check out the other presenters. because they are amazing. Like they do such a nice job. I will make sure I put the link in our show notes so you can see, or they're 5-minute presentations. So it's not like it's super long time. They're worth the watch. They're awesome. Can't recommend it enough. Disrupt HR did a fantastic job.
What was this again?
Dick. God.
I'm just kidding. I was freaking there, man. I loved it. No,
dude.
that's super cool. I didn't realize there was actually a camera crew there. Knowing that, I would have kept my shirt on. Yikes. But no, Steve, I'm sure it was actually kind of surreal watching your 5-minute speech back, your presentation, since I'm sure it actually kind of felt like a blur when you're up there. It just goes so fast. Which actually, now that I'm saying that, reminds me of that scene in Old School when they're having the debate and Will Ferrell kind of like blacks out and then he just like sputters off this amazing response answer. What happened? Like, I'm sure that was kind of like that, where things were just happening so fast because you got the lights on you, literally the camera and all the eyes. And like you said, you told me, I think it was on the podcast too, where you could barely see anyone because it was like being on a stage at like a concert. The lights are right on you. Hard to see the audience.
Yeah. And you're totally right. Yeah. Like there was a certain parameter that you had to walk between. And if you stepped out of it, like you just got blasted by lights. But even if you stayed in there, it's just like the best way to explain it is it looks like you're looking out at an ocean of silhouettes. Like it's really kind of odd, but it was weird. It was definitely weird to watch it. Cause I really wanted to say like, I know what it felt like giving it. I'm curious, like, what did it sound like? What could I improve on for the next time? Like what works, and it is definitely very bizarre. But it was, I cannot stress enough the Disrupt HR, whoever technical crew they had, they did so well. I mean, the audio is incredible. The visual is fantastic. They do a nice job of kind of like slowly migrating between like the live you presenting and your slides. Like it's seamless, absolutely seamless. So I don't know what company it was, but whatever company it is, they knocked it out of the park. They were incredible.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Now, did you have, I'm trying to recall, and I have not seen the playback video yet since I had some things going on at work today, but did you have a microphone in your hand or was that a mic set? Okay.
Yes. So we had a microphone in our hand. It was an interesting one too, because there was the microphone for the general audience for you to hear us. But then there was this added on piece. And if you look closely at the video, you can actually see it looks like you're kind of like holding like a giant microphone, like in a weird way, because there was a secondary microphone on it that was directly attached for the audio for the video.
Okay.
So like, because if you ever notice that, like if you have a recording in a room of somebody speaking, you get that echo chamber effect and whatnot.
Yeah.
This is crisp, like pops, nothing. It's awesome.
The reason I asked is because I typically, and when I'm speaking, I don't speak to super large groups at my organization.
Sure.
So I'm just using my loud speaking voice.
Absolutely.
But in the past, I have had a microphone where it was the kind of the headset or the clip on your shirt type. The clip on your shirt. But so this reason this was top of mind was last night I was at an event for my business and I was a sponsor in it was a dating a dating company that does like these local events called Pitch a Friend. And so it's kind of a cool concept. So what they do is you have people that are single and you can, or you're dating someone, you want to pitch your friend who's single. So you put together like a 3 to 5 minute presentation. This is a nationwide chain.
Oh my God. That's nationwide so chain, awesome.
But they have a Milwaukee branch, and the person that runs the Milwaukee branch reached out to me and said, "Hey, I've had people at these events not for me, for dating, reach out and say, hey, I'd love to have it at some spots that are more zero proof friendly. And so she said, hey, if you want to be a sponsor sometime. So I was like, sure. So I went to this event last night, and I was able to, during like the breaks between the pitches, I was able to talk about zero proof. And so at one point she handed me the mic, and I started talking in the mic, and about 30 seconds into it, I don't know. It's weird for me. I don't do it a lot.
Yeah.
So I put the mic down, and I'm like, I'm just going to talk like this. I don't know. Sure. It takes a while to get used to talking into a microphone. I don't know why. It doesn't bother me when I can like hear myself talking now or when I'm facilitating, but for whatever reason, talking into the microphone. Yeah.
I was going to say, I wonder if, because obviously you and I can see each other, for the listeners out there, and this is for your own safety, that this is an audio only format. But at least I feel like we use our hands a lot when we talk. Yeah. Right. And when you have that microphone, like you are restricting one hand and you're only able to do everything with everything. Like, you only have the other hand to be like, oh, here I am doing this. I wonder if it's almost like this cognitive thing where you're like, now I'm restricted.
I think it's more so hearing my voice echo in the speaker. So we were at this bar, okay, and so it was hearing that where I'm like, no, I just want to have my voice project.
That's a great call.
It's something that I would, if I ever were in the case, like need to have a microphone all the time, I would just get used to it. It's just it's something that I rarely use it, and so that just kind of brought me to when you were up there. I think that was something you would kind of get comfortable with. Or
I've done the whatever, like is that like the lapel mic?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and I'm okay with those.
That's fine. I've never done a Britney Spears headset one. Like never rocked that. Like the Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake. Nope, never done that one. Mostly it's the lapel. I feel like that's a very common one. That's fascinating. Now the funny thing is I don't want to, but I'm gonna start thinking about that if I ever have to do it. Like, what do I do with my hands?
What do I do with Will Ferrell?
What? I don't understand.
That's the one with John C. Reilly. What movie is that?
Talladega.
The race, Talladega Nights. What do I do with my hands?
Yep, it's a fantastic one. So I said I had to stay. I didn't have to stay home. I requested to work from home so I could work on these different projects. I was working on 2 different projects: annual compliance and our new hire orientation. Now this is going to sound really dumb, but I'm assuming you do some form of annual compliance training stuff, right? Yes, no. You're giving me a smile.
I'm laughing only because we use Dayforce as our learning management system.
Oh, okay.
It's fairly big. They're the former Ceridian Dayforce. They've now just Dayforce. They had some sort of upgrade within the last week, or we upgraded our system of Dayforce in the last week, something like that. Okay. And literally like 2 days ago, because of the upgrade, an email went out to every employee saying that they needed to do their mandatory training, that it was due. Like it wasn't.
Oh gosh, no.
So there was like a glitch in the matrix, as I like to say.
Sure.
But to answer your question, we do annual compliance training. Ours is at the beginning of the calendar year.
Oh, okay.
And employees, I'll say, have roughly like 90 days to get it done.
Exactly. Yeah, and we don't do ours at the beginning of the year. We do ours, I believe it is tax day, April 15th to whatever 3 months after that is.
Sure.
Because, math is hard. Thank you.
Yep.
Whatever the time. Actually, I think we might do 60 days. 60 days okay. It is. And that's to kind of add some buffer room in there just because we have regulatory things that we want to make sure that are completed within a timely fashion. But that's besides the point. One of the things that I have kind of been mulling around because I am just like knuckles deep into this is everyone hates compliance training. Everyone. I know. The people that have to take it. I've never met I've never met a single L&D person that says they like it. I've never, oh my God, yes, corporate compliance training is the greatest. It's so much. No, nobody ever says those things. Like, would you agree? Like, that's totally the truth.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. It's literally the worst.
Yeah, it sucks. And like, I feel bad for, because of course, as the L&D people, it's kind of tagged like, oh yeah, I got to do my compliance training. And I do think this maybe is a comment for a different episode, but I do think that's part of why people, when they hear training, they go, ugh, because they think of stupid compliance training, like, ugh, I have to do this.
Yes.
Right. So it got me thinking that I understand it is a necessary evil. We have to cover certain things. We're a healthcare industry, or I belong to a healthcare industry. So we have regulatory things we need to cover. HIPAA, resident rights. Like, there's certain things that we need to make sure that we cover, correct? I guess what I'm kind of curious about, and this is where I really want your opinion on it, like how you guys do it and whatnot, and kind of compare notes, really is there a line that you can walk where you make it engaging and entertaining? Or is it just engaging? Or is it just entertaining? Like, where's the parameters? Like, because there's certain things that we have to cover. Sexual harassment or something. It's like, okay, we have to cover that. You don't want to make that entertaining. You want to be like, hey, like, but you want to make sure you have someone's attention so they understand the gravity of it. It's kind of the brush your teeth before bed corporate learning and development piece. Like, is what I'm saying making sense, or am I spinning in circles here?
No, it is. I completely understand the importance of this training.
Yeah.
But it is typically very super dry, like the desert, it seems. Yes. And I will say that from my perspective of my team is the one that actually sends these out. So it goes through HR, but it goes through learning development saying, hey, this is due in, I think it's 60 to 90 days.
Sure.
My team has kind of an unwritten rule. We've always had this since I've been there of, hey, we're going to set the tone and be the first ones done with this. So like our goal is our team, let's get it done in the first week, because we really should be setting that bar of, hey, this is important. Yes, it's not fun. It's not pretty, but it is important. And it's a requirement for you to do, for us to do. And so I get mine out within the first few days of the new year. It's actually, I kind of don't mind that part of it where you're coming back after the holidays and it's January 2nd, 3rd, 4th. And maybe you have a couple other things to knock out first, but also like, you know what? I got to spend a couple days going through some of this training. And it's kind of just an easier way to start a week, and especially after having some time off. But, you know, as I mentioned, I think it is obviously very important, and I just think it's one of those necessary things that you have to do. I don't know if it can be spruced up in any way, shape, or form. I like what you said, though, about that it should be engaging, but it may not be necessarily exciting because, again, it could, like you said, sexual harassment or active shooter like that.
Exactly. Yes. Like, those are things that you want. I'm trying to choose my words correctly here, so our listeners out there don't have to go, oh my gosh, is he having an aneurysm? I think maybe my deeper question isn't even necessarily about corporate compliance training. It's just about training overall, maybe. Okay. And that is, does it need to entertain and be engaging, or is it acceptable to do one or the other? Like, and I guess I would assume at some point there's got to be an overlap, right? Like, if there's a Venn diagram of it, there's got to be somewhere they overlap, where it's like, ooh, that's interesting. But that's just this talk of corporate compliance training, because it's such that monster in the closet of, oh, I have to do this and I don't want to. But to your credit, you're right. It's a necessary. I don't want to call it an evil, because it's not. There's a value to it. It's just not fun. That's kind of why I made fun of saying it's that brush your teeth before bed kind of thing. That you do it for the maintenance and the upkeep. You're not doing it because it's fun and exciting. Like
I think that's a hoax anyways, the brushing your teeth before bed. Is it?
I've never done it.
So, Steve, I want to answer your question.
All right.
I think if you had to rank engaging versus enjoyable, I think, and yes, they can coincide and go together, but I think engagement's a little bit more important. You want to have your audience ready and willing to participate, to be engaged, to be present. Not everything can be enjoyable, can be fun necessarily.
Yeah.
But it could be the driest of all topics, but maybe you switch things up and you have a video. Maybe you pose a question and it goes to small group or a think, pair, share. Maybe you do a quick activity. That might not be very exciting for a lot of people, but engaging, that is where I think people would agree with. So, because there's that fine line of being subjective. What I think is exciting may not be very exciting to you. However, I think we both agree on what engagement looks like.
Hey, Uggos. Patrick and I constantly talk about our own mishaps and pains and really just about anything about our adulting lives and workplace. But we'd love to hear your questions for us. So what have you always wanted to ask Patrick and I, but just haven't done yet?
To do this, we'll need you to reach out to us. And you can do so by going to our Instagram @grosslycompetent or send us an email, grosslycompetent@gmail.com. We'll pick through and read off our favorites in an upcoming episode.
That is perfect. Yes, I think you're absolutely right in that entertainment is very subjective. Hell, tonight, my wife is going to watch Love Island. I can guarantee it because the newest season's on and she is infatuated with it. And I can hear that little intro. I know what she's watching. That is entertaining to her. That is not to me. I can't even be in the room. I'm like, this is so unbearable. I understand that people like it. It's garbage TV. It's God, there's a comedian that calls it the McDonald's of TV, right? Sure. Like it's junk food and that's fine, but that's entertaining for her. And so be it. Stuff that I watch, she doesn't find entertaining, and that's completely fine too. But I like that you said that we can all agree on what's engaging. Like I guess what comes to my mind is like a documentary, right? Like some documentaries are entertaining too. Like, oh, that's fascinating. A lot of times they hook you with engagement. They're teaching you something in a new way or showing you a new light. That's the way they rope you in, and you actually learn something or maybe learn something, right? But we all know what that looks like. That, God, that you said that perfectly. Like I totally agree with that. 1,000%.
Well, and I think too, it goes into, at least for us as facilitators, Steve, of wanting to make sure that this training doesn't seem like it's lasting all day. So if you have a 2 or 3 hour training, the idea is that you have people engage. And so it only feels like you were together for 90 minutes versus 120. Even if you have the driest of information, if you can still make it seem that it wasn't that bad. I've had that. I had that customer service training. I know I mentioned it here before. I did 8 sessions of that last fall for one huge department, and we broke it up into chunks. And it was a 2 hour training, and I had multiple people come up on different sessions. That actually wasn't that bad. And you know what? I'll take it. Because it was customer service 101. And a lot of these people had been there a while, but they needed a refresh. They needed a reboot. They needed a different perspective on it, of why it's important to go back to the basics at some point.
Without a doubt.
And a few people, I thought that was going to be really rough and great. So I felt that I made it engaging, where that 2 hours didn't feel like 2 hours. It felt a little bit shorter. So whether, again, we talked about with the PowerPoint, the death by PowerPoints, those rarely seem like things go fast. It seems like, oh my gosh, I've been here forever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to jump on that. Because I think that's a very valid point, that when somebody does the death by PowerPoint, you're right. I feel like it actually elongates the time. Like somebody feels like, oh gosh, like it's brutal. And I wonder if it does that because people look at progressions of things, right? Like, so they see slides click through, they see a progression, but if it is an endless slide cycle, that feels like forever. Like, whoa, what is happening? And I actually want to make a point that you said about you had a couple of folks come to you and say that wasn't that bad. Dude, cash those checks. Like that is gold. Like you rarely, and I say you as in individuals out there, whether it's Patrick or myself or anybody out there that's listening that facilitates, educates, doesn't matter. You rarely will get somebody be like, that was amazing. I want to do it again. That does not happen. Maybe once in a blue moon, and they're usually drunk. But after your conversation with HR and you get that squared away, it's usually that was all right. Done. I will take, and that's all right. That is fantastic. Yes. What you don't want to hear was, this was a waste of my time. Oh, that one hurts. That one stings. Because what they're telling you is the whole time they were thinking of other things. And
I usually revert back to with that. I usually say, yep, same here. Back at you, bro.
Yeah. And you know what I was thinking about? Absolutely nothing I was talking about. So now I'm going to keep on posing these questions to you because I love these answers because I wholeheartedly agree with them. And I love that. I got him stealing that from you. The people know what engagement looks like. You're absolutely right. I am going to get that tattooed on my back. Like that is so deadly true, man. Now you have experience with younger learners because of your grade school years of teaching.
Correct.
And now you work with adults. Sometimes those two intersect. Just saying.
Absolutely.
I'm kidding. That's not true. No, it is true. It is. It's true. It's true. Do you notice like any differentials, or like is there something that you feel like has worked with both groups as an engagement piece or as an entertainment piece or a way to bridge that gap between the two? Because like when I taught, I was high school, so they're a step away from quote unquote adulthood. Sure. But you're dealing with what 8, 9, 10-year-olds. It's a very different atmosphere.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious.
I guess to answer that, Steve, the similarities where are going to be that it's important to kind of have different mediums, whether it's a discussion. In person, right? I'm facilitating in front of the kids or in front of the adults. And maybe it's a showing of a quick video, maybe having a PowerPoint. We had the smart boards in the classrooms. Those were kind of a thing, I think, even of the past now, but a lot of schools had smart boards. That was a big thing for a while. It could be one-on-one, small group type discussions with the kids or the adults. So I would say that as far as similarity goes. Now, working with students, there was kind of an unwritten rule that teachers had, and I think it made sense, and maybe this isn't a thing anymore. I have been out of the classroom for 8 or 9 years now, but the general rule of thumb was that students should really only be expected to be engaged. So whether it means like sitting in one spot, so think of like kindergarten, like 5 or 6 years old, right around the at circle time. Okay, they should be expected to be engaged or sitting still for up to their age. So 6 years old,
sure.
6 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
8-year-old, 8 minutes at their desk. Okay. And then the idea is that by that 8, 9, 10 minutes, now you're starting to lose them because they're getting a little fidgety or they're getting lost on the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to model that as best as I could. Again, as you said, I was teaching 3rd, 4th grade. So we're at the 9, 10-year-old level for the most part. And so really, yeah, after 10 minutes, I might do a quick little intro lesson on author's craft. Why is the author writing this story, this realistic fiction book that we're reading? Okay. And then, all right, we have a little circle time. We talked about it. And then now let's go back to our desk and work on this. And then I'm going to be pulling kids for small group reading. Oh, it's time to rotate to get our Chromebooks. So you're constantly trying to move around.
Wow.
With adults, that's harder to do. But at the same time, I don't necessarily think so, because age-wise, no, I'm not going to have adults should sit still for 60 minutes or 42 minutes. No, you still, it's similar with the age of the numbers of 8 to 10 minutes. But like you and I do, we throw in some questions. We get into breakout sessions. We get into activities, a video, then the PowerPoint, and then rotate all that.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a lot of moving around.
Yeah.
So it's not so much, again, 50 minutes of me just talking straight. Like, oh my God, that would be horrible
mm-hmm.
to have to listen to that. So kind of to your point, it's cool that there are those similarities with adults, with children, the same as far as attention goes, and we'll go back to it, what makes an engaging experience.
Yeah. I like that you mentioned this idea that with adults, yes, you can't be like, okay, let's do circle time, and now we're going to do no, you're not doing that. I get that. But for anybody out there listening, if you've ever gone to a presentation or a meeting or something like that, you'll notice that the meetings or those trainings that go rather fluidly, or at least don't feel like they're like nails on a chalkboard, are the ones where somebody doesn't just stand up in front of the group and talk the whole time. Like what they'll do, what you're kind of saying, Patrick, which I do the same thing. And we've had this conversation where you'll present on something that's, hey, so what do you all think? Like, can you think of an example? And you get people to start engaging back. It doesn't feel like much, but there is a dynamic shift there. There is an actual, that is kind of the proverbial, I'm standing up and moving around now kind of a thing, because you're engaging their mind a little bit. You're getting them to recall things, move them, kind of just involving them with the topic in a way that really, I guess, engages them, right? That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get them to think in the parameters of the topic that you are setting up for them. And with kids, it almost has to be a bit more blunt because they don't have the experience. And that's correct. If you ask any teacher, Patrick included or whatever, the biggest difference between adult education and childhood education is experience. Adults have experience to build off of where kids don't. So you need to be more direct with kids. If you've ever tried to be sarcastic with kids, you've learned this lesson, because they don't have the cognition to typically understand sarcasm. They just don't. You make a comment, they take you at face value.
I bet that hurt.
Yes. And I mentioned that in a previous episode. Yes. Where I am like a dummy. I'm sarcastic. And often when I'm sarcastic, it is self-deprecating. That's why we have a podcast called Grossly Competent, where we talk about how ugly we are for an hour. Come on. But yes, my son, very young, decided, if dad talks that way, I should too. But instead of it coming across as, that's cute and that's funny, I was like, ooh, you sound like a dick. So whoopsie daisy. So I had to pull back from that. But adults have nuance. They can pull from experience and go, I know you're saying that, but all the logic in this room and the context actually means you're saying it, in a different light. So therefore, I know not to take you seriously on this. So in that, I do agree with you. I think that getting individuals engaged in a room or doing the like the pairings or so like Socratic circles, if you will, like doing something to get them to adjust goes so far. It is crazy how powerfully impactful it is.
Well, and I think I would be shocked if anyone in a training, doesn't matter what the topic is, that didn't enjoy having a few minutes to talk about the topic in a group, whether it's with a partner or a group of 4 to 5, and then having kind of a large group share out, because 1, they can learn from one another, but 2, people like to be able to share their experiences. Even if they're super introverted, they can be the ones that talk in the small group and then say, I don't want to share. Okay, great. But it gives people an opportunity to validate their own experiences. And so I think that really goes a long way. So kind of going back, Steve, to this whole compliance thing we were talking about is, how do you make that the most engaging? And I don't know if I have the answer. Most of the compliance training is virtual.
Yeah,
it's
same with us.
I think that's because people haven't figured out a way. Let's make it as painless as possible. So rather than sending someone to a training where a robot's going to be up in front of the room for 2 hours, it gives them an opportunity to click and slide through, watch a couple of videos, HIPAA videos, or whatever it is, to talk about that and to learn about that. Excuse me. And I think that's probably the easiest mode or medium to get through that.
It's a trade-off for convenience. Like we realistic, and I know I'm kind of interrupting. I'm sorry, but I just had to step that in there. I do feel as though there's a solution out there for it. Like, could organizations realistically provide compliance training in a live in-person event that is engaging? Absolutely, they could. Would it be the most entertaining? No, not at all. However, especially as companies grow and get larger and geography plays an issue, like technology is there for a reason. And it's important to be able to utilize that technology when it can provide a convenience. I'm going to go back to Disrupt HR real quick. One of the individuals, hell, I'll make sure I put them in the show notes. She talked about specifically, I'm paraphrasing the daylights out of it, but you might remember this one, where she talked about flexibility in the workplace and how typically for like your white collar jobs, it's a lot easier. Like me, I just said today, I'm going to work from home. Are you cool with that? My manager's like, yeah, all good. We don't want to see your ugly face anyway. So I was
those exact words too.
It was actually a text. It still haunts me, but I have that flexibility. Now I also understand that somebody that, a landscaper, for example, or like somebody that's like frontline employee, they don't have that luxury. And what her proposition was, we have to figure out solutions to give them that flexibility, maybe allowing them to choose their work day. Maybe they work from 7 to 11 and then 2 to 6. Like, let that, does it fit their schedule? Does it fit the parameters? Does it give you the amount of time? We need to figure out these things. So in this case, as crummy as it sounds, we just got done saying nothing is better than in-person training. In this situation, it's not a bad thing to have the big, bad, scary compliance training be in this, because it allows you the freedom to do it when it feels good for you to do it.
Yeah. And kind of piggybacking on your point, I like, and I do recall that presentation from Disrupt HR. Yeah. And I like that there has to be that flexibility.
Yeah.
but of, let's say, of days or hours or shifts or whatever that looks like, so they can get what they need to done, go to that appointment without having to take PTO, or go to pick up their kids from school without having to use sick time or whatever.
Yeah.
But also too, though, it's the nature of the job itself. So for example, if I'm a lifeguard for the county and I work at one of the parks, well, you have to be at the pool to be the lifeguard.
Of course.
I can't work from. I want to work from home today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that sounds so like, yeah, idiot. But like when I think what I think organizations need to do when they're coming up with this, when they do get to that point of saying, here, this is the flexibility, they almost have to stress that, because you'd think like, oh, that goes without saying. Well, not for everybody, So I just wanted to put that in there too.
Yeah, of course.
It's just something to like, hey, we really value you, and you are so important to this well-oiled machine, but we need you here at the work site, because that's how you save the people from drowning.
Yes.
Not from your house.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's kind of what she was saying was, or at least part of it was, this idea of, no, we can't pull them out of the area where they work. Like, so the lifeguard is a great example of that. Their job is next to a pool. You can't really have them in an office or somewhere else. You can't set them in a new spot. But we can set it up that maybe they have a bit more flexibility with their hours.
Yeah.
That I'm going to work a 10-hour shift this day and then a 6-hour shift this day, so I can make these appointments, or I can get home early to my kids, whatever it is, right? That's, to your credit, you're right. Common sense is not common. No, this was, I think my biggest takeaway from this conversation, hands down, was your comment on engagement. I can't agree with that more. I know it's like the 50th time. You're going to edit this episode and be like, God, he said it so many times. But I guess I just want to keep on saying it to resonate this out to everybody that's listening. It's so absolutely true. No matter what it is you're doing, if you're giving a presentation to your department, you have a team meeting, or you are trying to facilitate a massive event, whatever it is, just understand what engagement means for that group. It does not need to be entertaining. You do not need to be a stand-up comedian. You don't need to, like, it's okay. Just make it engaging. And there's tons of ways to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just trying to be compliant.
Do you know who is always compliant, engaging, and entertaining?
Spinarooski.
Spinarooski! It is indeed, folks. While Mr. Patrick fires up the wheel, a reminder for all of our listeners. Each episode we spin the Spinarooski. It is a wheel of names that might belong to the woman who so generously shoved Mr. Patrick and I into the ugly club all those years ago. And the goal of the Spinarooski is that we will eventually land on her name by the hope of the universe and thank her properly.
Fingers crossed.
Before we spin, do you want to pick a name out of the ether and just see if perhaps we land on it?
I'm going to go with Sarah.
I'm going to go with Bethany.
Okay.
Yep. Folks, if you're new to this, the reason why I'm saying that is the Spinarooski has this weird, and I mean weird, thing where Patrick and I will say something or a previous episode it said, and then it appears on the Spinarooski as our name. So I'm curious to see if the Spinarooski is listening to us. So with that,
all right,
Patrick, spin that Roski.
Round and round she goes.
Around the world, around the world. That was Daft Punk, right? Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
Aria.
That is not what I thought it was going to be. Aria.
And my Alexa just said yes. I said Aria.
Gosh, Alexa, you attention seeker. Anyway.
Or
hey, now it's a living. Aria, thank you so much. I hope it was you. I hope you were the one that graced Mr. Patrick and I and shoved us so vigorously into the Ugly Club all those years ago. We appreciate you. You are fantastic.
Aria, that's a great name.
It really is. I really
hope it was you too. I just feel like that would be a good connection.
Yeah, I really enjoy that one. Big fan.
Steve, want to do some shout outs?
No. Okay, yeah, fine. You start us off. You start us off.
Okay. I'm going to keep it quick. I would like to shout out my landlord for not raising my rent for the upcoming year. That was a pleasant surprise.
Not all heroes wear capes.
I know, right? Thank you.
Yeah, good for you, landlord. If you're one of our many listeners, hey, Patrick Ayleshire thanks you. That's awesome.
P.S. Can you fix the potholes on the driveway? Thank you.
Whoa. I wonder how he's going to fix those potholes. It's not with your raised rent. So
okay, I messed that up.
Yeah. Well,
JK.
I know I said this earlier, but I think it bears repeating. And I would like to give a shout out to the production crew of Disrupt HR Milwaukee. They absolutely crushed it. They did a fantastic job with the videos. Even if you don't watch mine, I do not care. I think you owe it to the other presenters to watch theirs. They did a fantastic job. If I ever find out the name of the production company, I will give them their due process and say thank you. But for right now, this is going to have to do.
I second that. That was I highly recommend watching those presentations, including Steve's. They were all fantastic, and it was a great group of speakers and such a variety of topics. And like you said, Steve, we're not asking you to sit through a 30, 40-minute presentation. These are 5-minute hits. Like, you can break them up, watch a couple here, come back, watch them later. It's and they're all different topics, which was awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
And one more thing before we run. Okay. I know we said this earlier, but folks, we mean it. Send your submissions for our QA episode. You can either message us on Instagram at Grossly Competent or email us at grosslycompetent@gmail.com. And if you're from Knowledge City, don't bother.
Or your name is Simon.
Whoa. Oh, I'm so sorry. I know this is a last second thing. Any updates on your LinkedIn message?
I've not heard anything. No, it's gone quiet.
I don't want to pat myself on the back too hard, but I feel like my Uno reverse card's working.
It's 100% right now. So I'm looking forward to adding it, to trying it again sometime.
Yes. All right, let's end on a high note, man. Folks, that's it for this episode. You all rock. We appreciate. We love you. Thanks again, and we will see you next time.
Ugly 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 out.
Right?
Dang, that's good.
Get that bass going.